Okay, we should be live now. Chi-Town, Inglewood, you can cue production when you're ready. This is Mouthpiece included. Pull up if you want. Don't forget to bring your mouthpiece. Halas Hall, Dysfunction. That's what the Silverbacks are discussing today. So stand by as we cue the joint. Please stand by as we cue the joint. Let's see here.
Mouthpiece included. T-A-T-N, T-A-T-N, better guard your grill. T-A-T-N, 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 mouthpiece included. T-A-T-N, T-A-T-N, T-A-T-N.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Facts. You guys, the show starts shortly. Please like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. What the dickens is going on? Mouthpiece included. All right, we're just gonna skip past this. It went right back to. Yeah, we're gonna skip past this. Nobody's got time. Bear with us here. What's up, Bears? Speaking of the Bears, that's what we're unpacking today. I'm just gonna stop that share because I'm not getting in it. But Silverbacks are in the building. You guys, today's show, we're going to break down, as usual, weekly hot topics. And then how about those Bears, the week 18 results? Is it still going to be just in time moving forward? Are you building this thing around him? And our quarterback of the week, who was it? Think about that now. How about them first place Bulls? Yeah. And then, of course, we'll get on topic, which is Halas Hall, Dysfunction. So we got our co-Silverback in the building. What down?
Now, what the TIU?
Hey, what say ye, man? What's been going on this week, man? What say ye, bro? You got anything to say to the TATN Nation?
Cold weather here in the Chi. Watch out. I took a spill on Saturday. My tailbone is still recuperating. So be careful. Be mindful of ice.
Did you fall gracefully, or did you fall like the Three Stooges?
I was stepping out of a van, and it was ice. It was ice storm, ice mist.
Yeah, the black ice. I heard something about that.
Yeah. So I was holding on to the door. Foot hit the black ice,
Oh,
That was all she wrote.
uh, yeah. Well, you know,
Yeah.
there's a way to fall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I fell, I stopped, tucked, and rolled, and nothing was broken, nothing was skinned, nothing was hurt but my ego and my tailbone. So,
Yeah, because sometimes, bro, you gotta just fall. You know, the funnier falls is when you're trying to avoid the fall and it's inevitable.
yeah. It was a pink couple came out of the house and asked if I was all right. I need assistance, and
I was all right until you asked me that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to be careful out here, like
Yeah, they got. You know, they went in and lauged at you.
right. I was trying to be careful, but unfortunately,
This ain't my first winter in Chicago.
yeah. It didn't work out. It was ice everywhere. It was really unbelievable. But yeah, that was my
I tell you what,
tailbone.
your tailbone is connected to your hip bone, so you should be all right.
Yeah. So everything came out okay. It took me a few days to recover. Still getting up and down gingerly, but no broken bones.
Yeah, man. Well, you came out of that pretty blessed. So, CTE part 2, we closed that out last week. About a 48-minute show, so you guys definitely check that out. A lot of powerful information in that 2-part series regarding those brain injuries. It's not just related to football. I mean, you know, you could be skateboarding without a helmet. You know, you can get into a lot of street fights. It's all about impact on the brain out there.
All incorrectly on that black ice.
Yeah. I've been saying though, bro, even before CTE, if the brain is so important, we all should walk around with personal helmets. Just an extra layer of protection. You know what I mean? Yeah. We've got the technology.
Especially when the vehicles driving, an accident can happen at any time, or riding the bikes, which, you know, the kids are supposed to be doing nowadays. So, yeah.
Yeah, anything could happen. Somebody can throw a brick meant for somebody else, and luckily you had your helmet on. You know what I mean? But let's jump into the hot topics, Brody. I want to start out with Olin Kreutz was called a liar by Halas Hall upper management. You got any information on this?
Well, story came out that Olin Kreutz was being recruited by the then offensive line coach, Harry Heastan. This was from 2018, of the Chicago Bears. And he wanted Olin to come in to work with the offensive line in a consultant capacity, not as a coach.
So show him some of his Hall of Fame techniques and things of that nature.
And then give him some of his bear nature, you know, teach them how to be bears and how to be all pros, and, you know, how to play the game of football like a Chicago Bear would.
Okay, that seems fair.
Yeah. So Olin was considering it until they faxed over or emailed him an offer for his services, and he picked it up and read it and said offer was $15 an hour.
That's the minimum wage here in the state of California.
Wow. Yeah, well, Illinois is trying to get to $15 an hour. But matter of fact, Coach Nagy had a commercial running this year for McDonald's where it's promising people $17 an hour to flip burgers.
Oh, you mean Coach N-Word was actually doing a promo for? Interesting. So they literally offered, I mean, a perennial All-Pro.
Yeah, member of your family. Yeah. Guy broke his foot in the last game he played for you.
You know, you'd be better off just saying, hey, would you be able to do this pro bono?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But, you know, but it's a NFL team, so everybody gets paid unless you're an intern. And, you know, he's been paid throughout his career. And to offer him $15 an hour was quite an insult. Now,
what about in the press conference though? They asked him about it, and they pretty much called Olin Kreutz a liar.
yeah, the owner, which will lead into our topic for today, the present owner of the Bears, George McCaskey, stated that you got to take everything that Olin Kreutz says with a grain of salt.
I saw Olin's response, and I was wondering why he kept using that term. I was like, he really loves that turn of phrase, boy. Yeah. Oh man, that's the Bears for you, though.
And you got to know this guy has no idea what kind of training camp offer that Pace or the team sent to Olin Kreutz. So just to answer the question in that fashion and call one of your family supposedly a liar is just tells you a lot about what's
No, you're right, because he avoided, which we'll get into later, but he dodged a whole bunch of questions that I thought, he shouldn't have dodged. And the media was laying it in on him and asking him these questions and repeating it and asking him in different ways. And I don't answer hypotheticals and we don't do this and that. But I don't want to, lead. But the point I'm making is I did find it odd that he was ready to comment on that.
Yeah. That was probably his, just the way Coach N-Word, scripts out first 15 plays.
Yeah.
Probably had 5 questions that he scripted out to answer, and that was one of them.
I got you. And then the rest of them, I'm just not going to answer.
Yeah.
That was their technique. That wouldn't surprise me at all if that's how he moves when it comes to dealing with the media, because yeah, he said some other obscure stuff, but we'll jump into that later. Now, how about those dogs, bro? Bulldogs, champs or chumps?
Hey, they got to be champs. I mean, there'll be the excuse that the
receiver got knocked out.
Yeah.
Down. He had a core injury at 19. Yeah.
But hey, Alabama supposedly has the best talent every year, so it's next man up. Somebody's got to be ready to go. It's the national championship. If you haven't been playing other players all year, especially in those damn blowouts, what the hell you been doing? So,
Facts.
Georgia beat them, Georgia lost to them, and then Georgia beat them again. So,
they the receiver, they said he was trying to get back in the game, and your boy and the doctors were like, no.
Yeah. You're never walking.
So did you see the game? You saw the hit? It looked like he was they said it looked like, he couldn't move for a minute or something, but then he was able to get up and walk on his own volition or whatever they say.
Well, I mean, I watched parts of the game and here and there and to and fro, I wasn't much interested in the first half of the defensive struggle. But, that's how it is with a knee injury. It's a shock and trauma to that ACL. And then you fill up, come in and feel on your leg and talk to you. And your adrenaline starts rushing, telling you, hey, it's the national championship game. Everybody's watching. Go to the NFL. Let me get up.
Yeah, and the NFL's watching too.
Yeah, I'm gonna play.
Yeah,
it's a ligament, kid.
So what, did they say it was sprained or something, or it's still too early to tell?
ACL.
ACL?
Yeah.
Like torn?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, he's gonna drop his draft. He might as well come back for another season, bro, to prove that he could,
He can't even play next year, probably. We'll see.
Right. Wow.
That's why a lot of these kids opt out of these bowl games, but you can't opt out of the national championship.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Remember that happened to that running back at Miami? He ended up having an NFL career, but he got drafted in like the Gore, yeah. But he was going to be like a number 1, number 3 pick overall and drop down to 3rd, 4th, 5th round or something.
Yeah, but he came back like a bull.
It was another one. It was another running back before him. You know what I'm talking about. Fast. Got hurt in the national championship game.
Yeah. I can't recall his name at this time.
Yeah. Yes. Had a long career too. Not as long as Gore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frank
Hit him right on his knee.
King of Miami. Yeah. Great career. Yeah. I'm trying to remember his name. It'll come to me.
Yeah, it'll come to me. I'm gonna tell you this next topic. Yeah, Stace dude might know. And then I'll see if I can find it on Google. Channing Crowder eats crow regarding top recruits. He said on that on their podcast when Dion was on there, that no top recruit that TCUs can't compete. And I think you even mentioned it, about the practice facilities and all this and that. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, fuck all that, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's what Crowder was saying. But he had to eat crow. What say ye?
Well, he needs to. The reality is the facilities aren't as outstanding as a Power 5 schools, but most of the time they're going for the culture of the university and the coach, and what they can learn. And you go into a school and you're there with Prime, hey, why wouldn't you? Yeah, you can go to PWI Institute or whatever state you're in, but or whatever school you're in across the country. But there's always a reason to go to a school, and if you can go to a school and learn from all these NFL coaches and the Hall of Fame players, I think that would be a betterment to your career. And if you're standing in solidarity as far as bringing up the HBCUs up to par with these power conference schools, and even a bigger shout out to you.
Yeah, and he gave some other reasons. He's like, playing in front of 100,000 people. I get all of that, and he didn't want to mention, he left out the boosters, reading in between the lines. The girls when you come to campus and stuff, but you can get that anywhere. And I just thought it was strange that this brother was so adamant that it would never happen. But he did eat crow and came out and said he has to eat crow, but he had a caveat to that. I forgot what it was. Do you remember? Because he was still.
No. I mean, that's the easy side to jump on. Like, why would these kids go to HBCU? There's no way. And it's some of the mentality, it's some of the rhetoric that's being spread to these players nowadays.
Yeah, but those are black men spreading this crap. Right.
Yeah. You're doing a podcast. You're doing it on the networks.
Yeah.
And the coaches and boosters are, telling them, why the hell are you going to go to Jackson State when you can come to Florida State and I can buy you a car, a house, get your mom a job, and all this other rhetoric. And
I bet you Dion told him Florida State didn't have 89% of that stuff before I got there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
And do they have a statue of Dion at Florida State? No. But if Dion had went to the HBCU and did that same thing, he'd have a statue. And I think that's how he's recruiting. Yeah. Like, look, man, you could become a complete legend. Why go somewhere else? You go to Alabama, man. How hard is it? How hard is it going to be to get in their ring of fame? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, you got to win like 3 or 4 Heisman.
Yeah, and 3 championships.
Yeah.
Carry
the team. And even at that, you still
can be forgotten. You'll still be forgotten in 3-4 years.
Yeah. You'll just be a one of the Alabama running backs or the Alabama offensive linemen or the Alabama defense
or linebackers. Yeah.
that made it to the NFL. So,
Yeah.
Come here and be something special and start your own legacy.
And one thing I say about Deion, bro, I think you were telling me Sanders, those are his kids. And so he put more than his money, his kids bought in.
Yeah.
And that would say something to me as a recruit.
Right. Absolutely. And, he's going to tell you that, it's the greatest school and you'll get the greatest output of your talent at this school. But, to have his own son there.
Man, that says a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even to the parent, that says a lot. You know what I mean? You're not asking me as a parent to do something that you're not even willing to do. If his son was at Alabama, that would look real suspect.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You'd have to think that, hey, you're trying to get to Alabama or you're trying to get to the next school to get your son to transfer to that school.
And that's another low-key thing they're doing, Ace, trying to keep saying, how long is Deion going to be there? And how long? Well, I mean, his son's there. I don't think he's going to transfer and leave his, Oh, and thanks to Google, Google comes through again. That would be Willis McGahee.
Willis McGahee, that's right.
Willis McGahee in the Fiesta Bowl, 2003.
Yeah, I think he had a little CTE going on.
He was running like a 4.2 something 40 before that hit. He was never as fast again. Yeah. He got racked up.
Yeah. Fortunately. Yeah.
So, you got any other hot topics you want to touch on before we jump on before we move to the Bears? How about those Bears?
Well, when are we doing the Bulls?
Oh, we got the Bulls coming up. We'll talk about them, but we always cover the Bears week to week. So this is the Week 18 results, and they lost 17-31 in a conference game, a division game at the Vikings. And how did the Ginger get so many attempts? The last I heard that the kid was going to start. Explain to me what happened, because I don't watch it.
Allegedly, they came up with the diagnosis. They're putting the kid in COVID protocol on Thursday or Friday.
The kid in COVID.
I don't know. He was in the COVID protocol. You never know what it is. He might have just been standing next to somebody with COVID. I don't know. Whatever.
Wow.
And instead of playing Foles again, who will be on the team next year, they paid the Ginger again. He won't be on the team after. Well, he's not on the team anymore.
And even if you got Foles, let him play. Maybe he can be trade bait. Maybe according to Diesel, you can get a number 1 or a number 2 draft pick for his old butt.
Well,
first round, second round draft pick.
He won a game 2 weeks ago. And they played the Giants after that, which was a terrible team. But Foles, Foles could have probably got him on a winning streak and been some, he would have been some good trade bait.
But you could have got a first round or second round draft pick for him.
Got 2 or 3 first round.
According to Diesel.
Could have traded him back to the Giants and got our pick back.
Yeah. But I thought the coach didn't like Foles, and I think that has a lot to do with it. It's personal.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he didn't like him for whatever reason. Allegedly, he was the impetus for Foles being here. When they gave him when they traded for him from Jacksonville and gave Jacksonville the 4th round pick, and I think Jacksonville was going to end up cutting.
But we shouldn't have gave up the 4th round pick for that. That was a 6th round pick.
Yeah, I think they were going to end up cutting him that year because of what he was earning.
So we got him for a 4th round pick. He did absolutely nothing here, and there are Bears fans who think we can trade him for it too.
Number 1, we get our number 1 back in Fields. If we would have got on that 3-game win at the end of the season,
Man, only Bears fans, bro. So the game, it's my understanding that we looked good in the first half. We were competitive. And in
Yeah,
the second half, the wheels fell off.
yeah, they beat the brakes off of them in the second half. I wasn't watching the game. I was listening to it on the radio. It's time for T to start getting ready for baseball. So we're at baseball practice
Yeah.
from 1 to 3 o'clock. So and there was no reason to sit there and watch the game.
No, it isn't. Especially the kid wasn't playing. So again, this guy, Nagy, can't make any adjustments. None of his staff.
And listening to the game, he had 4th and 1 3 times during the game, and every time he passed.
They went for it. They went for it every time, and
he passed. They had Dave Montgomery on the sideline on 4th and 1, and they out there with Andy Dalton running pass plays, sack, thrown out of bounds. I mean, come on, they're gonna blitz him.
When they were passing, did they even do a play action?
On
4th and 1.
They didn't have time. Zimmerman was like, "It's Andy Dalton, man. Send the blitz."
And they know the tendencies that he never runs on 4th and short.
Right. So, all you got to do is, send a zero. They don't have any slant plays. The running back's on the sideline, so he doesn't have a hot read. So, yeah, just blitz him. And, of course, they made none of them.
Yeah, so they gave Andy Dalton, I guess they figured they'd help him and do him a favor. He's a nice guy. Let's, let him showcase his talents, because they all figured they're all gone after that game.
Well, I mean, Nagy should have been fired. If they would have fired him after Thanksgiving, that would have been fine. But he should have been fired some weeks ago.
Well, one thing I think you said Phillips or McCaskey, whatever idiot this was, it was McCaskey. One thing he said in his press conference, which we'll get to, and he wasn't talking about last year. You should have fired him last year if this is your metric you use. But he said the first week we had a player that they didn't touch. Receiver was on the ground. We didn't touch. He gets up and runs for a touchdown. And he said it happened in the last week. And Ace, I saw it happen in 2 other games. It just the other receiver didn't get up and run. Yeah. I saw it. It happened more than 2 times all throughout the season. And you, as the president or whatever, you don't pick up the phone and say something to this guy. Because remember, it happened last season. That's culture, bro.
Yeah. So, everybody's still talking about how much of a genius and great season this D coordinator had. You got guys not getting touched down or being tackled down. I don't give a damn if you run and throw an elbow on his back. When he catches the ball, you got to do something until the whistle blows. So
and these are bro, and and right, and college rules should have nothing to do with that.
Yeah, no. I mean, and the guys that were doing it were removed from college from at least a couple years or more.
Correct, and they were all nonchalant. Even what we talked about, the running out of bounds and the not. Yeah. That's coaching, and they'll always say they love the coach. Yeah, because he's letting you be lazy and not hold you accountable to this nonsense.
Yeah, he's got you guys running around here like prima donnas and Hall of Famers, and
When we saw Walter Payton, he didn't give up an inch.
Right, absolutely, walking paper, and he was playing on concrete
with no line.
No, absolutely nothing. Yeah.
So, all right. So I think we covered that. Do we have what's my man's name? He's been hurt all year. He's hurt all the time. We got him from the Rams. Yeah, with 5 first-round picks. Who'd you say?
Talking about Mac?
Yeah. So how many more years we got Mac under contract?
I think his cap number this year is $30 million. So he's not going in. They pushed all his money to the back end of his contract, so there's nothing they can do. They can't trade him and they can't cut him.
Oh no, hell no! The Bears will not. He could be paralyzed, knock on wood, and he's going to be doing something for the Bears. 30 million. He's going to be doing.
He's been hurt the last 2 years. He had a foot surgery, and he had half of this year off. So hopefully he'll come back strong for the next administration that makes it to Chicago.
You lucky if you get 2 more Pro Bowl seasons out of him.
I think we got 3. I think we got 3 out of him and maybe 2 out of Quinn. You got Roquan.
Oh yeah, you got years of Pro Bowl football ahead of him.
He's a beast. We got to shore up the defensive backfield.
So this genius defensive coach, he got fired with the whole staff.
Well,
is he on the list for coaching hires? Well, we don't want to get into it. No, okay. Well, that's weird. He's such a genius.
Yeah, everybody's fired. So, it's all up to the new GM and the new coach, whoever they're going to be.
Well, okay. Well, we're going to get there. How about those Bulls? Last time I checked, they were 27-11, and they're in first place, 2.5 games ahead of New Jersey. Didn't they play New Jersey recently?
They played them last night.
Who won?
The Bulls got the brakes beat off of them last night in the second half.
According to the coach, though, we're up 2-1 on the series this year.
Yeah, that was their last game.
Where was that game played at?
Played in the United Center at a 9 p.m. tip.
So Kyrie played. What did he do?
West Coast tip. Yeah. I think he had like 20 points.
Wow.
I mean, all those guys were sitting down by the fourth quarter.
Wow.
The Bulls
beat the brakes off of them, huh?
The Bulls were competitive in the first half. I think they were down 2 or 3 at halftime. They gave up 73 and they scored 70.
So you're going to make a move if you're the Bulls?
Not necessarily. I mean, the game was refereed like they were playing against Aaron Rodgers. Every time they got near any of the nets, they called a foul.
Oh, the fix was on.
Fix was definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of Gambinos in New Jersey and Chicago. I'm sure,
Yeah. So also, I don't know what happened, but once they got down like 6 or 7 points, they turned into straight 2K. They were shooting 3-pointers every time down the court. They weren't going to the hole anymore. They weren't challenging the bucket or anything. And once you miss 5 or 6 3-pointers in a row, and KD's got the ball hitting.
Well, that starts a fast break if you're missing long shots.
Yeah. I think they were 1 for 8 in the third quarter for 3-pointers. They might have scored like 7 or 8 points.
Well, this new NBA, boy, I wish my coach was thinking like that in high school. If we didn't go 1 for 8, they'd be talking like, if we'd hit 3 more of those 3-pointers, we're right in the game. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you didn't. You could have went in there. You didn't have any shot blockers in the game. Just go in there and, try to get you some layups. I mean, it's going 3 for 2 or 2 for 3, but, at least you're scoring points as opposed to not scoring anything, and they're getting dunks and 3-pointers.
Because the ball goes in the net, and when the ball goes in the net, you can set your defense up.
Right. But they ran them off the floor in the third quarter, and the fourth quarter, I went to sleep.
All right, Ace. Well, let's jump on topic, man. What's the reason why the Bears have been habitual, lovable losers? What's if they brought you in as a consultant, if you were the old pink guy that they like talking to, you know what I'm talking about.
Which one?
The one they always consult and talk about. They kept mentioning them in the
Polian?
Yeah. So if you were Polian, they brought you in there and, because they're not going to bring your black ass in there. But if you were Bill Polian and you were smart, right? What's the reason why the Bears are lovable losers habitually? Break it down.
It's definitely the structure of the organization from the top to the president, Ted Phillips, and that's where the dysfunction takes place. You got the ownership or the board of directors, which is Virginia, and the CEO now is George, and you got all of the.
I'm in Virginia right now in the meeting.
Yeah, you got all. You got
Go
all
ahead,
these,
bro.
You got all these people patting each other on the back about probably about how much money they're making. But all they got to do is turn the sign on, flick the sign on, and say Chicago Bears. That's $300 million from TV networks every year.
Yep.
So with they just don't have any idea of football. The football came from Papa Bear Halas.
Yep.
He knew how to coach and knew how to put guys out there that were football players and pick football players.
He knew the game.
Yeah. And then it went on, well, he's a founder of the league.
Right.
And then it went on to, when Papa Bear passed, it went to this board of directors, which were the McCaskies, who know absolutely nothing about football. They chased the older brother, Mike McCaskey, chased everybody out of town. Everybody that built the '85 team chased him out of town.
Yeah, because they would challenge him and tell him he's an idiot and he doesn't know what he's talking about.
And they knew how to build a team and pick football players.
Right.
They couldn't find a quarterback. They knew it. Everybody else on the team was football players.
But we didn't really need it because we knew we were playing on that lakefront with the wind swirling.
We're going to run the ball.
It's going to come down to running and defense.
Yeah, we're going to crush you when you came in here in November and December with your passing game.
From your West Coast with all that heat. Yeah.
Come on with that bullshit. Come on. Come on to Soldier Field.
Yeah. Come play on this concrete. So I agree. I was just telling wifey, because we've been having some issues at my company, and I always tell wifey, anytime you got dysfunction on the lower levels or laziness or people not doing what they're paid to do, it's always upper management's fault.
Yeah.
Always, bro.
Yeah.
They tolerate it. They don't create the culture. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got one time to do that on the Bill Belichick team, not touch somebody when they're down, and you're on the next bus out. He's going to trade you for whatever draft picks he could get.
Yeah. Why not? Because you don't want to play football.
Your head ain't even in the game. Right. Like you said, you ain't even playing football.
So, what are you out here for? I can get anybody to run around and not touch the guy down. Why am I paying you?
And this is you're a professional football player and you don't know the rules of the game.
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And you see the receivers too, though, bro. They all, I don't want to call it retarded. We can't say that. But even the receivers, they don't get touched. They be on the ground. They get up, throw the ball down, the ref then blow the whistle. That's a fumble, damn it.
Yeah. They don't want to get that extra yard. They're 2 yards from the first down marker.
Yeah.
They don't
roll
down or running out of bounds.
Yeah.
You got the greatest rules that the NFL has ever had for offensive players.
Yes.
Get the extra damn yard.
They can't headhunt you or nothing. Right.
Get the first down.
If you hit them too hard, they'd literally throw a flag and call unnecessary roughness because you hit them too hard.
Right. Imagine Walter Payton running around these
he would probably be banned from the league. He'd be unnecessary roughness.
Yeah. And Jim McMahon would probably still be playing.
Oh, he would. So what would you do, Ace? So what would you do to remedy the situation? You can't. I was listening to Cap, I think. He was on a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't fire the family. So imagine your granddad started the Bears.
Yeah.
We would hope you'd have the presence of mind, the pride to step down and just get a football. Like, why won't they just hire Bill Polian?
Bill Polian is 80 years old. He doesn't want to work.
I agree. I will go there, but I'm saying whoever they're consulting with and they think so highly of, why wouldn't you give him the position and tell him you're in charge of football operations?
They, you know, they don't. I don't know. I guess they don't want to hurt Ted Phillips' feelings.
And don't tell me Bill Polian is 80 years old and you voted for a 77-year-old president. I don't know who you voted for. You don't have to say it, but don't tell me about old. You get the leader of the.
They're both 70. Shit.
That's what I'm saying. So if we're voting the leaders of the free world and they're pushing 80, in the next election, this guy's literally going to be 80 something. Don't tell me about Polian's age. He's got to be a whippersnapper. But DJ Creeper, what up? Thanks for the support. He said it's a bunch of kittens in the NFL. Bunch of kittens in today's NFL. Pussycats is what he's saying.
I would say that they're playing the game according to the rules of the NFL now. You know. Do you want to step out there? I said a bunch of skinny jean tight pants wearing pussycats. I agree with this DJ Creeper. With his take. I'm not gonna color it, but it's a whole different game, bro. But like you said, those are the rules, and that's what it is. So, but so what would you do to fix it? I kind of cut you off, but I was saying that. So your family started the team. Everybody's saying, Ace, you don't know what you're doing. Nobody can fire your family. No. So, but what is the remedy if they're consulting with you and they're asking you? Well, I would tell them they need to bring in an entire different structure. If you're going to go on a press conference and you're the CEO of the team, tell your fan base that you're just a fan. But you're going out to hire the damn general manager and the new coach. And they ask, so you're going to hire the GM first? He can hire the coach? Well, if we get a can't miss coach, we're going to hire him first. Like, what the hell is that? What is a can't miss coach? You need a GM to work with the coach. They asked him that. He couldn't answer it. We'll know it when we see it. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't on the play sheet. You didn't think they were going to ask you that question when you're announcing to the whole damn world that you're bringing in head coaches and general managers for interviews, even though you don't have a general manager, and the general manager definitely normally handles hiring the coach. But that was their way because they know what you said as the issue. And that was their way because of saying, okay, yeah, we're going to try to go up the ladder and fire people. But I think one of those cats should just have the balls. They should have enough love. If you're a true fan, step down, and find a football person to be in charge of the football decisions. But they don't even have to step down and do that. They just can move Ted Phillips away from football, like allegedly they said they were doing. Yeah, he said he's just going to get the Arlington Heights project. Yeah, right. But they haven't closed on a land lease. And he can, and George can come to the games. I still have my George McCaskey story to tell. George can come to the games and sit in the owner's box next to his mother, and then they can leave afterwards. All the pressure, all the decisions can be on the team president. Of Virginia. He's just embarrassed at the country club, Well, you have your team president, you have your general manager that reports to the team president, you got your head coach. Team president has to know a lot more about football than the entire McCaskey family. Yes, he has to know about football. And this is the proof in this pudding, because like you said, how can he hire a GM and listen to them and know that they know what they're talking about? For example, he kept saying in that press conference, he didn't like when the N-word coach had asked him which quarterback should he go with. Now, if you know anything about football, he would have been able to give some input instead of hiding behind
You're the head coach. That's your decision. That's a cop-out answer. You can give your input and still say you're the head coach. That's your decision. But you can give this guy some guidance if you knew football.
Because if you're telling him, that's your decision, well, he's going to put this bum Ginger that he's got out there that he likes so damn much that can't throw the ball 7 or 8 yards down the damn field. He's gonna put him in the game when you got a rookie out there that you need to groom that's on a rookie contract to get out there and win some damn football games.
Now, DJ Creeper, hey, let me know if you want to pull up DJ Creeper. We can drop the link in the chat there, or Stage Stewart or anybody. But DJ, he deleted his message. Damn, I wanted to read that. I think he said we own the name Chicago and not the Bears. What probably they're going to do, Creeper, is if they move, they're going to be like what they did here in LA. They're going to be the Chicago Bears of Arlington Heights.
We own what? Come on, city?
Well, he's saying, then they have to drop Chicago Bears if they move to the suburbs, and they should be, I guess he's suggesting, the Arlington Heights Bears. You know what I mean?
You believe that, DJ Creeper?
That's what Creeper said. But he deleted it.
He doesn't own the damn police department. City doesn't own the fire department. The city can't stop any crime. You think they're going to go against the NFL?
Hey, well, here's one. Let me know. He said that sucks. He's talking about the Chicago of Arlington Heights. Yeah, let me know, Creeper, if you want to pull up. Now, would you hire the GM or the coach first if you're in these guys' positions?
I would hire a president of operations, then I'd hire my general manager. And I'd let my general manager find a coach that he wants to work with.
So you'd hire your president of operations, let your president of operations, obviously that president of operations is going to find a GM, right? Yeah. And then the president's operations and the GM should together decide on a coach.
On a coach. You got to have some continuity in the organization. And right now you don't have any. You're going back to the situation where when Ryan Pace came in.
Yeah.
And they threw John Fox on him. They said, John Fox is your coach.
Yeah.
I'll figure out everything from there.
And then Pace was able to use the excuse, well, he was never my guy. Let me get my guy. And then he got his guy. And we had to give him some more years for his guy to stink it up before everybody realized he was an idiot. And I knew he was an idiot after the Trubisky thing.
Well, I mean, he was an idiot after the first, The
Trubisky thing, the moving up one spot to get somebody who played 13 games at a substandard college and giving up all those picks to do that and to think who we could have got at the position we were in. Seriously, once he did that, I was like, this guy is a complete buffoon, and I was calling for his job then.
Yeah, we could have traded down and picked up a couple more picks. And got an MVP candidate or MVP 1A consideration, and picked up maybe those offensive linemen we needed.
Yeah, when you consider how thin we were on talent, that would have been the move to do. Find another idiot that wanted to, and they weren't going to use that pick for fucking Trubisky. They were going to use it for one of those black guys that was getting drafted at the 10th and the 9th spot.
Yeah, there's no way they would.
Creeper agrees with us. He says, get the GM first. Well, you said president, which I see what you're saying. You're saying gut it all the way up to the president level, right?
You have to, because they've shown you for the last almost 40 years that they have no idea what they're doing.
Well, the Bulls proved, though, and that for years I've been saying fire Garpax, and it's what happened. As soon as they got rid of those guys,
bam.
Somebody got a coach, and now they're in first place with the same. Yeah. I mean, look what Phil Jackson did. Coaching matters. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's coaching out there. I mean, everybody's yelling for Harbaugh. There's no way Harbaugh is leaving Michigan, but Mel Tucker just got $95 million to coach Michigan State.
Well, I wanted Harbaugh before they got the N-word coach, We should have had Harbaugh. It was before he was even at Michigan. That would have been the chance you could have got him. But if you're going to go for Harbaugh, you're just going to have to offer him a bag and 5 years guaranteed.
That's still not enough money. Mel Tucker, who coached for the Bears, stunk, is the head coach at Michigan State University. They just gave him a contract for $95 million at Michigan State.
But over how many years?
That's like 9, 10. So
yeah, so that's $10 million a year. So you'd have to offer Harbaugh like $10 million a year for 5 years. A lot of coaches, Harbaugh might want to get back in the league after the way he was pushed out in San Fran. He might have that NFL itch, and rich is rich. At some point, rich is rich, and he might be tired at Michigan. But Harbaugh's on my list. But now Creeper said, get a new team name. He'd hire the GM first. He said the Arlington Crawlers would be the new team. He said he wants them to change the name so we can get an AFC team. I don't want any AFC team in the city of Chicago. I mean, if you're going to do it, then maybe 2 teams. But I like being an NFC, DJ Creeper, personally.
Yeah, we had 2 NFC teams when the Cardinals were here.
Facts. And I know Mr. Glass, Anthony Davis, he's a Chicagoan. He knows he's mad he signed with the Lakers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but he didn't have the forethought, to say, man, if I go to this team, I can make this team better.
Yeah, he just wanted to win a bubble chip and play with a brand.
And collude with their agent. They got the same agent, and collude with Magic Johnson, et cetera, et cetera. So that brings me to the next question. Who would you guys like to see be the coach of the Bears? Who you got in mind on these lists, Ace, if you were the GM?
Man, it's tough. I'd have, although I don't think they can get him, I'd have Harbaugh on the short list. He is a former Bear.
Facts. And you remember that system he ran in San Fran, man, defense running the ball, bro.
That's what the Bears are supposed to do. Get off the bus running the damn ball. Got 2 running backs already. And I'm sure they can find, somebody in the draft in the 6th damn round that got, smoked a little something or, snorted some cocaine or whatever, they put on those damn evaluations that's going to come out. That'd be your 3rd running back and that's ready to play. But, yeah.
And his teams are disciplined. You know what I mean? If you beat them, but they're disciplined, bro.
Yeah, so I would go Harbaugh, Flores, and guy out of
Now,
Miami.
who's this Flores? Now, is this the Flores that used to coach the Giants? I mean, the Lions? I'm like, man, this guy's got to be 90 years old.
No. This is a guy.
He was a GM and a coach at one time. I'm like, is this him? Is this his son? I mean, is no relation?
No, it's a brother out of Miami, coached the Miami Dolphins, and he didn't get
You
along.
can't be a brother with a name like Flores, bro. Is that his first name?
That's his last name. His first name is Brian.
He's some sort of Cubano, Puerto Rican or something?
Yeah, he might be.
I'm going to have to look him up to check his background. Hate to sound like Archie Bunker, but come on. All right, but he was at Miami.
Yeah, he's at with the Dolphins. And, they had a losing streak, but, he came back. He had a solid defense. He wanted to run the ball, but he was having problems with the ownership and his quarterback. Alabama quarterback, Tua Longa. Him and his quarterback wasn't getting along.
Tua. Yeah.
Him and he wasn't getting along with the general manager, so they launched him after the season, and it was a surprise to everyone.
Because he didn't want to baby Tua.
Yeah, he wanted them to.
He wanted to hold them accountable and make them follow the rules and shit.
Yeah, we want to win. I got a defense out here that that's ready to kill.
But that's what Phil Jackson said made the Bulls so good, and he was able to teach Shaq and Kobe that that once Michael Jeffrey Jordan bought into the discipline and the accountability coming from the top,
Yeah.
the rest of the players had no other choice.
Right. Right.
And Jordan learned that in North Carolina, because when he got there, the other All-Americans were buying into listening to the coach, and so that was part of his DNA. Now, Creeper said that your boy Anthony Davis, the unibrow, followed the money, and that's what I was saying about some things aren't so important with the money.
Yeah,
It's a little things more important once you got money, and he might not, Harbaugh might not need all that, just something close to it. You give him something fair. You can't cheap him out, but maybe give him a 6-year deal at $9 million per or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all a possibility to get back in the NFL, have another chance to win a chip.
And to coach the Bears, it could have been his dream job for all we know.
Well, there's been rumors that it is his dream job.
Yeah. I told you, Ace, I would have had him, man. I had mentioned it to y'all before they hired. I would have went after him then, but the Bears was on that BS. Yeah. I didn't San Fran run him. But remember, he got to the Super Bowl with Colin Kaepernick, the guy who takes a kneel. I'd bring Harbaugh in here. I'd bring Kaepernick in here as my backup. I'd have him kneeling before every goddamn game. Let him go to Arlington Heights. He'd be kneeling every game. I'd have a statue of Kaepernick in front of the new stadium kneeling. Now, DJ Creeper said, not a good coach out there. He said the new rules, he said the rules of thumb is draft a new line with a new quarterback. Our center is very good. I like the line. I think it's coming along pretty good, man.
Our center is average.
Yeah.
James Daniel is our right guard. He should be the center. He played center in college.
Yeah, but they like to move people around and do patchwork.
Yeah, but his contract is up. So, that you're gonna have to pay him like $50-60 million to come back.
And Virginia McCaskey is sitting there like,
yeah, we can get one of these other bums to like the ball. But we can work with the tackles. They need to go out and get a left tackle. We got tackles, in the draft. These guys are young. We need a real left tackle.
You do, especially with the way Fields holds on to that ball and apparently don't have no peripheral vision.
Yeah. So, he likes to throw the deep ball. So either you got to bring a coach in that's going to give him a system that shortens those passes or protects his blind side. So, and you need a tackle to do that. So they need to get a left tackle. All them other guys they can mix up. I mean, they got some good players on the offensive line. The two young guys, they got other guys that hopefully with some right coaching and a better scheme and can get out there. I mean, they can run block. So you get a coach in here that wants to run the damn ball, and you got these linemen that can run block. You protect your quarterback's blind side, and you're working with something.
What if Harbaugh said that he wants to be a GM and coach? Would that be a deal breaker for you? See, because when the ownership said that a can't miss coach, in my eyes, that would be a Harbaugh.
Yeah,
I think I would hire him if he came around before the GM. Maybe, because I wouldn't want to risk not being able to get him. So let's say in that scenario, but what if he said he wants to be the GM and coach? Do you think he knows enough football to allow him to do it?
Sure, you could do it. But I definitely would have a president of operations in
at the draft with him, and they'd be doing that together. Yeah,
he's got to have somebody who can talk. He hasn't been in the pro game for a number of years. I mean, I know he's seen the college players that's been coming through the system.
Yeah,
but you got to know something about this pro system too. He hasn't been there in a while, so it's got to be somebody that he has to report to. He can throw his ideas back and forth to that knows football, and it's definitely not George McCaskey or Jack Phillips.
Correct.
So he just needs, check and balances. It's a relationship between him and management and the coach and the players. So.
Correct. So I would for a guy like Harbaugh, any other can't miss coaches, I'm looking at You don't like the guy that got fired at Jacksonville. I like him. I'll take him.
Urban Meyer?
Yeah, I'll take him, bro. He'd be better than Nagy.
No, yeah, anybody's better than Nagy. But he's burnt in the NFL. He'd be a public relations nightmare.
I mean, what the hell is Jacksonville? They're an expansion. I don't buy too much into their whole little, you know, they didn't like him and he did this and that. I mean, you broke it down, explained, and I thought it was all callous or whatever, you know. But I would hire that guy, bro. I would, and Flores would be on my list. I've heard about him, and you know, so those, yeah. I mean, he's out there and he's available. I would definitely talk to him, man. He's proven that he knows football.
Yeah.
You got to get over your feelings. You know, you got to get over your feelings,
but,
you know.
But you got to talk to these grown men differently than you talk to college. He's a lifetime college coach.
Yeah, but they tried to say that about a bunch of them. You know, Pete Carroll made the transition. Jimmy Johnson made the transition.
Pete Carroll know how to talk to people. Jimmy Johnson had the backing of ownership.
Yes.
And he didn't have the social media and the internet like they do now.
And what he did was cut all those veterans that wasn't going to listen to him.
Yeah.
And he got a bunch of young players, you know, who was right out of college, you know, and correct. And then they came up together, you know, but
all those guys in Club Dub that wasn't winning. Yeah. You can only go to
what
Club
about
Dub.
Alabama's head coach? Is he a can't miss? Alabama's head coach? Because if you think he knows how to talk to pro players, you're going to be kidding yourself.
He's 70.
So is your president. But let's go to the chat real quick, because DJ Creeper.
Well, the thing about Nick Saban, he's 70. He's the king of Tuscaloosa, and they say his wife is the queen. His wife is running the whole damn town, so there's no way he's going to leave.
They're not going to run Chicago. Right. No. Well, Creeper said that your boy Fields holds the ball like he's in college. He has to learn to leave the pocket. He said Russell, Baker, all in the league learns to leave the pocket or get the helmet knocked off. Even Pat Mahomes runs out of the pocket. He says Jacksonville had all ACC players. That's the point. I'm just saying, Jacksonville is not the type of organization that would let me X out somebody off the list just because he had one bad season in that crummy city with that perennially crummy team, bro. This guy. Now, let me ask you though: is Meyer supposed to be a defensive guy or offensive guy? What was he supposed to be?
Who's that? Flores? Oh, Urban Meyer?
Yeah. I can't remember. I think he was an offensive recruiter. Yeah, but I think he was an offensive guy. I think he was an offensive guy from what I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember him being a defensive coach.
Yeah, and then that way you could keep the Arab.
Genius. Well, you got to look at you can't call him Arab. Call him Middle Eastern.
All right.
But Harbaugh had Fangio when he was succeeding in San Francisco. That was his DC.
We had Fangio when we were succeeding here, didn't we?
Yeah, we
had Fangio as a defensive coordinator. I thought he was in a Bears uniform. We had no interest in bumping him up. We do that. Yeah, we do that. Genius will go somewhere and be a head coach. Yeah, right. He's smart. But the Bears, man, KK, and they're hiring KKK. I'm sorry. This goes back to Papa Bear Halas, bro.
Well, I mean, they gave Lovey a shot. Lovey ended up 10-6 that year, and he had to go.
Lovey is the whitest black man you're ever going to meet in your life. Well, yeah. He somehow passed the Rooney Rule. He shouldn't have qualified. He's got an ugly, fat, white wife. Not that, ugly. Well, you can't say fat. A homely, obese, Caucasian wife. Can you say that?
No, you can't say that about his wife. He loves him. It's his wife. Then he went to Champaign. That was truly puzzling.
Yeah,
But
Creeper said that Meyer was an offensive guy. Yeah. Yeah, bro. I don't know what you got against him, man, just because he had some strippers, in Jacksonville and stuff like that. The guy to me is a brilliant offensive mind. And if those young players, if those NFL players can't, here's the problem with the league. If those players can't listen, you got to trade them and get them out of there and show that management is in charge.
Yeah,
Creeper said you can't attack the family.
He didn't get along with the quarterback.
Yeah. All right, so I'll apologize to Lovey's wife.
Pick in the draft. You can along with him, so he's got to go.
Yeah, but you wonder though, man. I hear you.
Sunshine's going to be good once he gets a team. Once he gets a coach with a system that he can work with and a running back. Sunshine's going to be good. Same thing with Justin Fields. This scheme here in Chicago. I mean, come on, man. This guy's proven he can only score 17 points, 18 points a game. It doesn't matter who the hell the quarterback is. The system is good for 17, 18 points a game. And the first 2 years of scoring those points, it was on the defense. They were scoring all the damn points.
Facts. All facts. So let's jump to, and you guys like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Thumbs up. Bill Polian. Okay. Why is he our main consultant? You said he's, 80. Yeah. You know what I mean?
He's a Hall of Famer as far as the NFL is concerned. He's a friend of George. How many owners or people of different teams are really going to help you? You have to find somebody that's not active in the NFL. And unfortunately, the friend of George McCaskey that's not active is Bill Polian. And they said he's been with the Bears for the last couple of months.
I've heard his name longer than that. He's been consulting them for some years, bro. But go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, he dips in and out, but he was key into getting rid of these two idiots we had running the team. They said this year, which was Pace and
was he key into bringing Pace in?
No, that was Ernie Accorsi.
Okay, go ahead, bro. So you said they like Polian and they love him. Why didn't he do the damn press conference? Shit.
Yeah. He's a consultant. He doesn't work for the organization. He's just a consultant. He should have been there, but it was his own call.
It's embarrassing, and the emphasis is on embarrassing. So
it really is. I in the past few days, I heard a conference with one of the Rooney offsprings from Pittsburgh, and he stated that was it Dan Rooney? I forget his name. But he stated that even coming up in the Pittsburgh system, there were people, yelling at him and teaching him the game that weren't Rooney's. It wasn't just your older brother or pops or uncle or, it was people that knew football that were in the organization.
Well, yes, that's how you run a business. You don't just hire your family. If you're running an engineering firm, you actually hire engineers, and you let them make decisions.
Yeah. But unfortunately in Chicago, once they won that Super Bowl, they ran all of the football people out of town just to beat their chest and say, hey, we can do this. Because we're the Chicago Bears, and we're descendants of. They're actually not descendants of Papa Bear. Virginia is. All the rest of them are just in-law. It's terrible.
Well, we got Creeper. He said those players just wanted to check, have some pride. I think he's agreeing with me with as far as these young players. Here's what I'm saying, bro. If Jordan would have came don't get me wrong, I'm a disciple of Michael Jordan. But if he'd have came to the management, if he'd have came to Reinsdorf complaining about Phil would have told him, man, Reinsdorf would have told him Phil's our coach. You understand? And that's the way you create culture.
Yeah. But
it is. We're pampering these young quarterbacks who ain't won crap. They come out of college from these fancy highfalutin colleges where they got all the high recruits around them, and they wouldn't have done that crap. Tua wouldn't have done that crap at Alabama.
no.
Roy wouldn't have done that at Clemson, and to come in there and be dismissive of Urban Meyer and then have your Jacksonville organization run them out of town based upon that, bro. Sometimes you have to let where the rubber hits the road, and he could be traded like everybody else.
This
You
is
know what
true.
I mean? That yes,
But, Joey Lawrence wasn't calling for his head. All of the backlash and all of the controversy that Urban Meyer garnered was brought on by himself. The not flying back to Jacksonville with his team after a loss, being caught in a bar where everybody's got fucking, pardon the French, cameras.
He's at a bar spreading covert.
Yeah, spreading COVID
At a super spreading event, coming back to the team.
Yeah, when your team's flying back after a loss, and your wife's at home waiting for you to come home, and
Yeah, but if we can't talk about family, who cares about what his wife's waiting for? You know what I mean? I want this guy to coach football.
Player, and nobody liked him.
Look, I don't need my coach to be liked. See, everybody loves this Nagy dude. I don't need. Look, Mike Dicker wasn't necessarily liked. I don't know what's in his heart. I feels like he's a racist. But hey, he'd get up in your face, and I don't think they like Papa Bear Halas or Vince Lombardi necessarily.
Yeah, but they won.
Yes.
You can't pull all that shit when you got one win.
But it starts. But he had only been. They didn't give him enough time. They didn't give him the control that they promised that man. Now his alcohol issues, whatever, that's something totally different. But that they promised that man in those interviews, bro. I'm sure he came in there and said, "This is the way I do things," and they should have been able to figure that out. Now he probably left out the bars and the, not traveling with the team after losses. Yeah. Maybe he was disgusted with them.
Yeah, well, Jimmy Johnson had one win.
Yes. A bunch of them had one win in their first season.
Yeah,
let's see.
Yeah, and he cut a lot of players.
Yes, he cut them.
Yeah.
You know why? Because the owner of the team backed him in all his decisions and trusted in his football mind and let him make all those decisions, bro.
Trusted in his process, but they didn't trust in Urban Meyer's process.
No, they want to trust in Lawrence, and that might backfire. Now, Antonio Brown, according to DJ Creeper, he said he's got more heart than all the Bears receivers. He calls the Bears receivers cowards. He said they got gator arms.
I wouldn't say Mooney does. Or all the rest of them. I don't think they can play. Robinson took the season off. I know he was trying. He made $30-something million between these last two franchises.
Oh yeah, he took the season off. He didn't want to play for that rookie.
Yeah, that was evident. But you're in a contract year, dude. What the hell are you doing? So I think it's the coaching. Cohen was running out of bounds.
Yes.
You've seen these guys running out of bounds.
And we watched it for years, Ace. We was commenting from the first season, like, what are these guys doing?
Don't you want to? This is Chicago. Why the hell are you running out of bounds 2 yards short of a first down? Why aren't you diving? Why aren't you doing whatever you can to move the chain?
That's why it's always 3rd and 2, and it's always 4th and 1, because on second down, they ran out of bounds, and they could have got the first.
Could have got those extra yards. Yeah.
And Dicker would have had that player on the sideline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember, Dicker used to cuss everybody out. You know what he was saying? His head be over there bobbing.
He's calling the N-word.
Yeah, he was calling him N-word. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was definitely calling him N-word. So, yeah, now I'm kind of agreeing. I don't want to be an ageist. So that's what my take on that, because one of the media had asked about Polian and him being old. You know, you get these recentists and these young cats, these millennials, and they want to put you out to pasture, and they discount wisdom, and they always talk about the new game and the new this and that. And at the end of the day, man, the teams that are winning have a running game and they have defense. That has not changed over all the years in football.
Right. It hasn't, unless you got a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Even then, when they win, typically, even in Brady's winning seasons, he's had a defense and he's had a running game around him. When Peyton Manning won, he had a defense, he had a running game around him. They just bloviate all this nonsense about offense and throwing the ball around the field.
It's a passing league now.
Yes. Now they can get to the Super Bowl and they can get to the championships, but when it comes down in January and it's defense, you better be able to have a defense and run the ball if you want to win a Super Bowl. Even from Seattle, I can go down the list, bro.
Yeah.
Philly, when they won, we can go down the list, bro. New York, those highfalutin offenses, when they do win, that's because they had a running game and a defense. Even Dallas, when they had, the posse, they had Emmitt Smith, but they give all the credit to the quarterback, but they had a defense and they had a damn running game.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Irvin was wide open. These guys were running around wide open because Emmitt Smith was getting 200 yards a damn game.
Correct.
You got to bring that safety down to try to stop the running game.
Correct. And a defense would get you off of the field as quick as possible, and then you can come back out there with your offense, bro.
And, and they have the players to turn the ball over.
Correct. So I don't think it takes all this spread, and you just got to do what you do it, and do it right. To your point about the kid, yes, he needs a system where his checkdowns are in his view.
Right.
They'll have him staring down the deep ball over here, and his check down is over here
on the other side of the field.
Yeah.
After blocking, all right, you're gonna chip the defensive end. Then we're gonna run a wheel route, and Justin, if the deep ball is, how much time do you think?
How much time? And we got this sucky line, correct? Yeah. Which is improving. Now, some of it don't be their fault, man. It's play calling too with your line.
Yeah, you're running these 3 wide sets with 5, just the line protecting, and you got a hole in the line,
man.
Every pass play. So and your tight ends don't block well, or they're learning to block better.
Well, what you said is right. If it's 1-on-1 on the line against the defense, that's advantage defense. If it's a pass play. Yeah. But if it's a run play, that's the line is more being on the offense. Right. And if you're just calling pass, deep pass, that's when the Bears kill teams, when they play teams that's just doing that.
Oh yeah. Because you don't have enough time to throw the ball deep. You got to set that up. You got to bring that safety in for some reason, and the safety only comes in when you're pounding the defensive line by running the damn ball, or you're throwing the ball right behind the defensive line to the tight end. You're giving them a reason for that safety to come in. Opens up the deep pass. But,
Facts. You're saying you're making the safety, even the corners and everybody, they start peeking in that backfield. Everybody, the linebackers. Yeah.
Got to, especially with a back like Montgomery, he gets to that damn second level and sees a safety or a cornerback, he's gonna pound him. So they got to be.
I was about to say, and Ace, when you pound them all game with a Montgomery, come the late third quarter and fourth quarter, the defense don't even want to run over there and tackle them. They all got headaches and stuff.
Yeah. Hit me in the knee, made me run all the way across the field.
Man,
muff me, or he broke a tackle and made me look bad.
But when you're running pass all game, the defense is teeing off.
Yeah. They're sending their linebacker in there to blitz. He's not even looking at the damn running back. And no, you're not going to give him the damn ball. 4th and 1. Montgomery's on the sideline. Are you kidding me? Now, what kind of play can you pull out that's going to fool the damn defense if your number one running back is on the sideline watching the play?
Facts. Now, Ace, we're going to clear this chat, and then you had a McCaskey story. So, Creeper said Bears need to teach the basics to their linemen and really help all of them with their footwork, sloppy. And the coach don't see this. Yeah, the coaches didn't see nothing. And all he did was talk highly of everybody. And they had to look at the X's and O's and look at the Y's and, go to the tape and blah, 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 blah. That's not coaching. That is not coaching. But Ace, what was your McCaskey story? Let me know when you're ready.
To follow up on that, it goes on the discipline of the team. If your team doesn't have any damn discipline, you're going to have all of those offensive penalties and not knowing the snap count. And they blame it on, they haven't worked with Justin Fields. He quarterback 10 damn games.
It's nonsense. Footwork is footwork.
Yeah.
So
if you're not teaching that during practice, then you need a new offensive line coach.
Practice?
Well,
you talking about practice.
You need a whole new coach.
Not the game. He talking about practice.
Practice? What are we talking about? Practice? Have you seen our new bathrooms and we got a new chef up there at Halas Hall.
Yeah, that's what they be talking about, man.
You talking about practice? But I did have a McCaskey story. Was it this? It was last season. 100. Yeah, the 100 season.
Yeah.
My wife blessed me with some tickets that she didn't want to go to the game, to a preseason game.
Big ups to your wife. Big ups.
I don't remember who the hell we was playing. It didn't matter by the time I got to the stadium.
Right.
But preseason, you can get some pretty good parking because it's preseason.
Yeah.
So I went on one of those damn sites and got
prime parking.
Prime parking at the harbor next to the stadium.
Mm.
So we're about 30 feet, 50 feet from the stadium.
And you're able to tailgate? You're able to tailgate out there too?
Oh man, I'm out there with my brown brothers and sisters. We're having a great time because it's preseason. Yeah. The weather's good.
Yeah.
We're eating and drinking and partying.
Even 12, even 12 is more relaxed than the preseason.
Oh yeah, well, at that harbor we were at, you can ride your boat over to the stadium and then walk in the game, and park at one of those boat slips. But we're out there just commiserating with one another. Did I work that day? No, I couldn't. And we're hanging out and talking, introducing, and talking to one another. And all of a sudden, it was all brown and black in this particular lot. We almost lucked up and got this parking, this particular game. Here comes this white guy walking, looking around, and walks right through where we're at.
Right through the black hole.
Yeah, never really introduced himself or said anything. But he said, to us. He never said anything to us. But he said, this is nice out here. I wanted to come see how the other half lives. And the other half lives. So these people had no idea who he was.
So who was he with? By himself?
He was walking in this one lane of the parking lot, and the other lane, next lane over, it was a bodyguard, but he was in plain clothes.
Probably had his hand on it. Probably had his hand on the gun too.
Right. So they immediately, the Brown brothers and sisters, turned around like,
who the fuck? Right.
Yeah, who the fuck are you talking to?
Right. Because it felt like what do you call that? It was a low key. It was a dry. It was a dry dish or a dog whistle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But him being rich all his life, he probably had no idea what he did.
Yeah.
Because of the privilege. And I was like, well, hold on. That's George McCaskey. He's the president. I'm apologizing for this asshole. That's George McCaskey. He's the president of the Bears. He probably had no idea what he said.
Yeah, he's probably inbred or retarded inbred. Well, special needs inbreed. Go ahead.
Yeah. And I was like, have another drink. Had the Mississippi libations on the table.
Yes.
And then, everybody was fine.
Yeah.
But it was no reason for him to say that. All he had to do was say hi. How you guys doing?
Yes.
And keep it moving and go all the way through the lot and see whatever the hell he wanted to see and take his ass back in the stadium. But for him to come out there and say that amongst all these people of color, man, it was surreal.
He should have known better. Hey, your boy DJ Creeper said he was looking for drugs. And then he said looking for the big butt women. That's what I was about to say, Creeper. He's looking for drugs and those black women.
He's looking for a dub, huh?
He wanted to see how the other. But you like you said, it would have been different had he spoken to y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he said it so y'all can hear it. Like he should have known better.
Yeah, you think he would have, but it was just like, man, wow, you the president of the damn team. You that
man? He could have came over there and offered y'all jerseys or something. You know what I mean? Something if you want to see how the other half live. Like if you want to see how we live, come to the South Side, man. Come hop in the whip and you can jump in. Right.
We all Bears fans, and it's $200 damn parking lot. Parking was $200 damn. Of course, we didn't pay that because it was
right because you got the lick. Yeah.
But just to come out there, all you had to do was greet the people that
and then say that shit to your security guard on your way out there, on your way away. Right.
Yeah. They had no idea who he was until he said that.
But he probably thought you guys were subhuman and you were so drunk that you wouldn't be able to put one and one together and compute two. Go ahead and when you wrap that up, go ahead with your final thoughts on the topic, bro.
All right. Well, that was pretty much it. And he continued to walk through the parking lot.
Like he owned the team.
Yeah, I don't know if he greeted anybody else or wherever else he did. I was too busy talking to.
But he doesn't own the stadium. That's owned by the taxpayers.
Yeah, it's owned by me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just renting it from me.
Yep.
Yeah, they have enough sense to go to Arlington Heights or
the South Side and would have built on that lakefront that was there.
Oh, yeah.
Since you want to know how the other side lives.
Yeah, and built that whole community up. You could have bought all that.
Bro, they built a stadium in Inglewood where I'm at in Cali, and they're building this whole community up. This ain't rocket science, This ain't rocket science.
I mean, it's real estate 101. You buy cheap and you build it up, and
Bro, you should see the stuff that's happening around the stadium, man. It's just magnificent what's going on, man.
Yeah, I like that casino, even though I don't gamble. But
yeah, they tore down the old one, and that was part of the deal because they needed the parking lot and built them a whole new casino.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a hotel, everything, man. A apartment complex and condos all in there. It's all the whole thing. But even like on the outside, they're starting to build it up and fix the streets and Starbucks popping up and white women walking their dogs. Yeah. And that could have happened on the southeast side, over around the avenues.
Yeah, but but that means you're helping a community, helping the city when you live out in.
Correct. All your suburban season ticket holders would have to drive all the way in the city now, or catch the bus all the way there in the train. Yeah. Right. Of course, what they don't understand is those people would have moved back to the city, bro. Yeah. That's what's happening. They're moving close to the stadium here in Inglewood.
They would have improved property value and all the houses they would have built. They would have had the contracts to build the damn houses. They bought all the damn land. And made a boatload of money, and then they would have bought all the neighborhoods. I mean, and you're on the lakefront.
and then other people with money would have bought those properties too, and in anticipation of the growth.
Yeah.
And what they did here in Cali was they started doing those gang sweeps and those warrant sweeps.
Yeah.
Like 3 years before the stadium, they started breaking ground. Even before they knew they got the deal, they started getting all of them off the street, bro. All of them
Gotta go.
getting ready for the white people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? But go ahead with your final rap.
Yeah, you made me lose train
of thought. Lost train of thought.
What the hell the city should be doing? We got Mayor Lightblunt here, you know.
Larry
Lightblunt here, forcing the teachers to go back to damn school, and then the day later she announces she's got COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, got them to cave on their vote for remote learning. Next day.
Wow.
Yeah, I got COVID. I'm going to be working remote, be working from home, and I'll see you guys basically in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
So now in the CPS, all the schools, you got kids showing up every day with, COVID.
And she's from Ohio trying to claim she's a Bears fan. I ain't buying it.
She's not in it. Oh, back to the point. I'll go back to the Bears. Stay on topic.
Yeah, Halas Hall.
Dysfunction in Halas Hall. It has to be solved from the top. We have to bring in a president of operation to do something about the team, do something about the hierarchy structure of what's going on in the system. You've had the same guys making decisions for the last 30, 40 years, McCaskies and Ted Phillips. And, every now and again, once they fire a coach, they'll phone a friend and, get the Johnny come lately hire. They has no idea what's going on in the building, what's going on in the Bear system, and what it takes to be a Bear. It really hurts what McCaskey said about Olin Kreutz, and it proves to the players that they have no interest in their input and the blood and the guts that they put on the field for the Chicago Bear franchise and games. I guess only the McCaskies admire those that won championships for the Bears. So you're looking at 85 Bears, and the guys that won the NFL championships back in the days before there was a Super Bowl. So, it's very disheartening as a Bear fan to look into the future and think there could be success. It was my feeling just a few years ago that the Bulls wouldn't win anything again in my lifetime because of the Garpax management situation. So hopefully something lightning strikes in the Bears organization. They can change the power structure and get some players in there that were part of the team, not just for Alumni Day, but that has business acumen, football acumen, and the ability to build up this franchise again to the way Papa Bear. Well, not exactly the way Papa Bear won it, because he threw.
He's a dirty nigger will never be a quarterback. How to run dead body.
Threw nickels around like hubcaps, and he would have been calling everybody the N-word, not just the coach. But they talk about them selling the team because you got a couple of minority owners. I don't know if they're minorities, but they're minority owners of Bears that will take over and take them into this new genre, Arlington. I don't see that happening. What else are the McCaskies going to do if they sell the Bears? You can sit somewhere and count money and do it, do that. But, hopefully the football organization gets together. We get some football minds in here that, like we used to have, 40, 50 years ago, that can pick football players to come in and play football on the lake, coach players that can run and and pass, short pass, or do whatever it takes to score touchdowns on the lake. And, come to Chicago Bears again. Bear down.
Hey, well said. The one thing I say about this whole thing is I didn't hear these idiots mention anything about this guy's ineffectiveness against our rival, the Green Bay Packers. That's enough reason for this guy to have been fired.
Yeah.
One thing about Lovey was getting her done against the Pack.
Yeah. And he, whether you believed it or not, his mantra is we're going to get off the bus running the damn football.
Yeah.
And we're going to play defense.
The discipline of that bend don't break, that Tampa 2.
Tampa 2.
Yeah, and then it became the Lovey 2.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say that, if he was truly a fan, he's got to mention it. There's been Chicago Bears fans all over this world losing a whole lot of money in the Bears-Packers rivalry week, and that's completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
Completely unacceptable. He could have mentioned, we got Aaron Rodgers, flipping off our fans. You know what I mean? And nobody on our team seems to care, and that's unacceptable. And I hope he brings a coach in here like a Jim Harbaugh who understands this passion that I'm talking about. The only thing you got to do in the NFC, what was it, North now?
Yeah.
Is beat the Packers, right?
Yeah.
Beat the Packers, get out of that division, and you got yourself a playoff spot. This isn't brain surgery.
Yeah, you got to win the division.
Yeah, you got to win the damn division.
The first player, I know it's a different era, but, back in the day, if you're playing a game in Soldier Field and this guy runs up to your fans and tells them he owns the Chicago Bears, I don't care what player he is, if he was the last player on the bench or if he was a starter, somebody was going to go in there and ram his head in the dirt the next play that he came out there to play football. But,
Yeah, especially, like you said, if he wasn't a football guy.
Yeah.
And then all these guys, none of them are even last name Halas. How the hell did that happen? Where are the Halas? Where's he had all women, all girls, and there's no Halases?
I guess not.
You understand what I'm saying? They all became Phillips.
Well, Virginia's got to be the oldest because she's 99 fucking years old.
But I'm just saying, there was no uncles, cousins, the Halas family that knew football.
I think she was the only girl. And she was the only child. So, there was, once she got married.
She didn't have no cousins last name Halas.
There had to be some Halases somewhere. It still got to be some Halases.
Man, where are the Halases, bro? Somewhere. I feel like I'm digressing.
No, it's a valid question. Like, what happened to the Halas name?
Yeah.
It couldn't have just died with Papa there and Virginia marrying McCaskey. So.
Yeah. So that's about all I had, for the wrap up. It's a great topic. I would say that it is dysfunctional. It's very difficult being a Bears fan. We hang our hats, if there's any of you people listening, on good, hard-hitting football, disciplined football, some nice defense, but the emphasis is on hard-hitting, and some, like y'all talking about the footwork, the quality of the offensive line, pulling guards, hitting people, pancake blocking. This is what we get off on as Bears fans, and some W's.
Yeah. I mean, we have football players, man. Walter Payton. Yeah, Richard Dent. They just broke Richard Dent's record in 2022 for sacks in the season. You got, come on, man.
You know what I mean? You got the 85 Bears defense, and the 84 defense was probably better than the 85 defense. People don't talk about that. So, so that's what it takes, and win the division, and we're happy. You know what I mean? But this Super Bowl twice in my lifetime, it's tough being a Bears fan. It's really tough being a Bears fan, but I love it. They're the lovable losers like the Cubs now.
We got to bring back the Honey Bears. The last time they won a championship.
They got rid of them because they were cheap.
I think it was Virginia.
Yeah, wasn't paying the Honey Bears nothing. You know, everybody knows NFL cheerleaders barely get anything, and they fire them to cut costs. You know, but so you guys, so y'all know, right here on TATN on Wednesday, we have a PhD coming in the building, Dr. Kurt Jasper. He also had a TED Talk. This brother's from the great city of Chicago, Illinois. His specialty is, I believe, psychiatry. And so we're going to unpack tools for Black mental health. It should be a very, very powerful show. That'll be Wednesday right here on TATN at 9 p.m. And Ace, what we got? You got a topic for next week in mind?
That'll be something we can unpack. That would be. Well, you know, we're in the football season. We're in the shadow of Black Monday. Let's talk about the Rooney Rule. Have we talked about? I think we talked about the Rooney Rule last year.
No, we never unpacked the Rooney Rule. That's good. Let's unpack the Rooney Rule. We'll look at all the coaches, how long they lasted. And that sounds good. Yeah, I've never really gotten into it. I hear Rooney, unlike Halas and Lombardi, well, they never said Lombardi wasn't a racist. I take that back. He despised racism because he had to deal with a lot of it as an Italian or something. Yeah. So I take that back. But Halas was believed to have been a racist, allegedly, you know. But they said Rooney was a fair man too.
Oh yeah. And you know, his kids and grandkids, they all served on the diversity committees. And
well, you judge a tree by the fruit that it bears.
And they're still into diversity for the league. So.
Yeah, because he probably raised his kids not to be smug, privileged pricks. Can we say pricks?
Yeah, you say pricks.
All right. So that's what we're going to cover next week, Thursday, 9 p.m. right here on Mouthpiece Included. We're going to unpack the Rooney Rule. We're going to break down, who got a job from it and who was just hired to go through the motions. I think the Bears were going through the motions with Lovey. They got him cheap, and they didn't expect him to do that good for so long.
Yeah.
Backfired on him.
Yeah, damn, we got to pay him $5 million.
And we can't fire him because he's been doing so good, and it looks so racist. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that $1 million contract he had as a rookie coach, and then he couldn't hire any damn buddy. He wasn't making any damn money.
And was still winning. So Bears, use that metrics when you just get a coach. Try to find somebody who you think is dumb, who you think can't get the job done. And that's going to be the guy that probably gets you to the Super Bowl again, in my opinion. Huh, Ace?
Yeah.
All right. So you guys, until next week, when you roll around the city of Chicago or Inglewood, Cali, make sure you check in that blind spot. Guard your grill. Knuckle up. And don't forget to
get it, baby.
And don't forget to
get the ring,
And don't forget to bring your mouthpiece.